Hey, have you ever heard of Anchor? Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. If you want to share your gift to the world, if you want to share your talent, whatever you want to do, it's free. So make sure you download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you're tuning in from. I want to thank you for tuning in with another episode of Uniquely Divine with Tamara Podcast. And in this podcast episode, I want to talk to you about trusting the process. I know that in this season of your life, it's going to be hard. Some are overcoming financial problems. Some are going through heartbreaks, situationships, relationships, whatever it may be. I want to encourage you to trust the process because we all have endured some pain in our lives. We all have encountered something that had broke us to the core. And some things we just don't want to share with anybody. But I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to help you, to lift that burden off your shoulders. I want to encourage you that it's going to be okay. It is going to be okay because this season, this timing for your life is just perfect. It's perfect because God has allowed you to go through those moments, those situations for your good. And it may not seem like it, may not feel like it. I know it may hurt so bad, but you have the power to speak out of your mouth. Whatever you want to shift, whatever you want to change in your life right now, speak it out your mouth. Declare that I am healed. My heart is healed. I am so happy and grateful now that my heart is healed. I am so happy and grateful now that I am making $10,000 in a day. I am so happy and grateful that I am living my best life. Whatever it may be, speak a word and you have that power on the inside of you to do so. Everything that you desire is in the palm of your hands and it's also in your mouth. So you have the power to declare everything you desire. Don't be afraid. And that's another thing. Once you speak it out, it takes action for you to believe it too. You have to believe it. You have to believe it. I understand that we all have moments where, we think about it or we second guess ourselves. But when it comes to your life, don't second guess yourself. If it's going to bring meaning to your life or someone else's life, you have to go all in. You have to be willing to show up for yourself, to be a blessing for yourself, to be a blessing to other people. Don't be average. Be great. Step into your greatness. You got a calling on your life. If you're still under the sound of my voice and you still breathing, God still has need of you. He's not done with you yet. He's not finished with you yet. So you got to continue to keep going. Keep pressing and know that he got your back. And when you have your moments when you just feel like everything or everyone has left you or forsaken you, it's up to you to speak a word. I know that a lot of us, we ask for, our pastors or friends to, prophesy to us. But it's different when you prophesy over your own self. Because you know what you're speaking. Especially when you have that relationship with God. And this is the time, this is the season. Like we're getting ready to go into a new year. So embrace this season. Finish strong. I don't care if you feel like he can't do a miracle in your life or you feel like this is the end of the year. Your dreams are too big for him to complete. No, don't think like that. Don't do that. Don't put the limitations on God. And that's another thing. We have to take the limitations off of God because he wants to do something so amazing in us. And I'm not going to lie. I was the same way. I was scared. I felt like God couldn't use me. I felt like God couldn't do things in my life that I always wanted. But once I took the shackles off of my life, what the enemy has placed on my life, and I just started to break away from what society has labeled me as, I started to see things from a different perspective. So I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Take the limitations off of God. I tell y'all in every podcast that you have greatness on the inside of you. He has created you for greatness. You are here You have the problem to someone else's. You have the solution. You have the solution to someone else's problem. You have somebody's answer on the inside of you. So tap into God like never before. If you have a connection with him, that's awesome. So dive deep, so deep that you turn off everything, every distraction, every influence, everything that is taking your attention away from him. You have to get so focused that is the only thing that you turn to. When you want to turn on the TV, don't turn on the TV, open your Bible. Or if you want to turn on the TV, pray to God. You got to switch. You got to be willing to sacrifice some stuff in this season. You got to be willing to turn off the TV. You got to be willing to turn off the music, turn off the radio, everything that no longer benefits you. You have to be willing to turn those things off. Turn it off. Because that's what he wants you to do. The enemy wants you to get distracted. The enemy wants to take your power. The enemy wants to get you back to where you were. But the power of God that's on the inside of you, he's pushing you to greatness. He's pushing you, especially if you prayed for elevation, he's getting you there. He's getting you there. He's preparing you for those moments. He's preparing you for those opportunities. But you have to be willing. You have to be in right standing with him at the right time. This is the time. The perfect time is now. Stop settling. Don't be average. Keep going in with all your dreams and your goals. I don't care how big it is, how small it is. The God that we serve he's so much bigger than us. He's so much bigger than us. I'm sorry that I'm yelling, God, but I'm so passionate about this. I was just talking to my aunt about this the other day. But, you have to be so passionate and just know that whatever is coming, whatever you want, is already in the palm of your hands. You just have to be willing to cut it off. You got to be willing to open up your mind. You got to be willing to feed your mind. You got to be willing. If you want to elevate, you got to be putting in the work for elevation. You got to prepare yourself for the elevation. Yes, we all want elevation. There's nothing wrong with that. But do you know the things that come with it? It's not an easy process. Because the enemy heard what you prayed for. He going to try to come for you. He going to try to comfort everything and everyone around you. And trust me, I know. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to prepare you. So keep going. Keep pressing. And just always keep your head high and know that God got your back no matter what you may be facing. It's only temporary. Speak a word over your life. Speak encouragement into someone else's life. And I don't care what you got going on right now. You got to be willing to put you on the back burner to show up for that next person. Because once God sees your sacrifice, when God sees that you are serving somebody else, that's when your blessing's going to come. You have to be willing to let you go. You got to be willing to put you on the side. You got to be willing to go all in with your dreams and goals. You got to be willing to, how can I put it? You got to be willing to show up. As well as you want to show up for the next person. And vice versa. Because we're not here for ourselves. We are a vessel. We are a human sacrifice. We are in a temple. Our body is a living sacrifice. We're just the messenger. Because we're not here for ourselves. Our body is not even our own. So in this season, I encourage you to keep your head high. To keep striving. To keep going. When it's hard, when you feel like your back is against the world, keep going. Because in those moments, when you at your darkest moments, that's when God is going to come in and lift up his standard. When you feel you have nobody. When you feel like everybody has left you, betrayed you, turned their back on you, God never turned his back on you. And trust me, when you surrender it all to him, he's going to come in and he's going to prove those doubters wrong. Everybody that doubted you, everyone that took you for granted, everybody that lied on you, everybody that played favoritism towards you. Don't worry about that, because it's in control. Don't worry about revenge. Don't worry about clapback, because that's the spirit. That's the enemy. That is the spirit of the enemy. He wants us to get us out of right standing. He wants us to get distracted. He wants to distract us with evil things. Sometimes he'll distract us with nice things. The things that the things that we think we're supposed to be doing. He uses that against us. So you have to be wise, and you have to use your discernment in this season. Don't be so caught up on what you don't have or what you do have. Because a lot of us, when we have things, we try to use that as our escape goal. Or, we try to put on like, we have this, so we made it. No, you haven't made it yet. Just because you got it doesn't mean that you're done. Because you got it, you got to set another goal. You got to go for something bigger than what you got now. So keep going. Keep pressing. Keep your head high. Don't look left. Don't look right. You got to keep looking forward. Definitely don't look back. Because ain't nothing back there but hurt, pain, past, exes, everything. God created a lane just for you to walk in. Just for you. He loves you so much that he created a lane just for you. And I heard somebody say that. She said, God created a lane just for you. And in that lane is the straight and narrow path. So don't look left. Don't look right. And in order for people to follow you, you got to be the light. You got to continue to be the light. You got to continue to show them the right path. And if they don't want to go, you're just going to have to walk alone. And that's okay, because you will be rewarded. But you have to stay the course. You have to stay the grind. You got to keep going. You got to keep pressing. Because everybody is not fit to go on this journey with you. They're not. They're not. So you got to keep going. Set the example. Be the example that you want them to be. You have to be the example. You have to be the light. Because one thing about the enemy, he don't like light, honey. He do not like light. So continue to be the light. Continue to walk straight. It's a long road, long journey. It's a faith walk. And a lot of times you're not even going to see what's around you. You're not going to see what's ahead of you. But you got to have faith and know that God is with you. It's going to be some times where you create stuff. Good things, though. And you create stuff and you put your hands to the plow and you just go all in. And then you think about it like, is this really what God has wanted me to do? But if you think about it, and like I said, if it brings good to you or somebody else, then go with it. Because that's what God has created you to do. I don't care if you got one business. Open up another business. If you got two businesses, open up another one. This is the season that you got to go all in, especially in your single season. I don't care who you are. You got to perfect your best. You got to be better than your best. So when you get into that relationship, you're already complete. You don't have to look for anybody to complete you, because you're already complete. You got to love you the way that you want to be loved. You got to love you. So you want, when you go into that relationship, you want to go in there looking for certain things, because you were already able to do it when you were alone. So this is your season. This is your time to do everything that God has called you to do. And don't second guess yourself, because you got power in you. You got greatness in you. You are above and not beneath. You are strong. You are powerful. You are loved. You creative. You are created by the Most High. And you got to speak these things over yourself. When you feel like you want to throw in the towel, don't give up. Because that moment that you want to give up, your destiny is right there. Your next blessing is right there. So keep going. Trust the process. Like I said, you ain't going to be able to see everything. It's going to be some times, it's going to be some seasons in your life where you just don't know where you headed. But I want to encourage you to keep pressing, keep going, keep looking forward. And know that God is with you, even when you can't see him, when you can't hear him. But when he does speak a word, he is able to move a mountain. But you got to believe it. You got to keep pressing. You got to keep moving forward. And it's okay. You're going to have to leave some people off along the way. Like I said, because they're not willing to do that mindset shift. They're not willing to do some things that you have done in order for you to make it. They're not ready to do that mindset work. They're not ready to make sacrifices. And that's okay, because eventually when you make it, they're going to see, oh man, I should have did what she did. And then that's when you look, if it's God's will and that's what God wants you to do, he wants you to look back and help your brothers and sisters. But this time and in this season, you got to finish out the year strong. You got to go all in. You got to keep pressing. You got to be the best version of you. Don't wait till January 1st. Start today. Start now. Shift you. Shift your mindset. Get your body right. Get your heart right. Do whatever you need to focus on in this season. And see how your life plays out for the better. I'm telling you. I have faith in y'all. I really do. I really do. Because if I can do it, you can do it. And it's not an easy walk, but it's necessary. You just got to stay guarded. You got to keep going. You got to keep pressing. And just go all in. Don't worry about what other people got to say. Because a lot of people are not going to understand what you understand. Because I didn't go through this process. And not saying that you're better than anybody, because you're not. But you were willing to make sacrifices. You were willing to make a difference in your life. You were able to listen. You were the one that chose to listen to podcasts, to listen to motivational videos instead of watching TV for hours. You were willing to break away from society, what society has going on. You were able to do things that make you happy. You were willing to do things that brings out the best you. So don't be average. Don't be average. You are an eagle and you are going higher. You are built for high places. Great things are in you. Great things are on your life. God has prepared a table just for you. He has created his own lane for you. So don't give up. You got to be willing to do the work. And it's necessary. It's so necessary. Especially if you want to be the generational curse breaker. Because I speak that over y'all life. I really do. Y'all are the one that's going to break the generational curses off of y'all families. Don't be average. Don't wait. Don't settle. Don't look back. And I know when y'all see things that you're not happy with and you want to change it, that's why. Because God has placed that on the inside of you to do it. If it's going to make you happy, if it's going to make you a better person, if it's going to make somebody else a better person, do it. I don't care if it's a podcast. I don't care if it's a YouTube video. You got to share your story because somebody is waiting for you. Somebody is waiting for you to show up. You got to step out of there. You got to be bold. You got to be wise. You got to use your discernment. You got to do whatever is going to make you a better person. God is getting ready to make y'all some household names. He is. You are the one that's going to lead your legacy on the world. You are the one that's going to change your whole bloodline. You are the one that your bloodline has been waiting for. So stop being average. Don't be average. Please don't be average. Use your greatness. Tap into your greatness. Put you first. Put you first. Develop your gift. Find out what your purpose is. And you start there. You start there. And you serve like never before. Serve your gift. Whatever it is. It can be speaking. It can be singing. Whatever it is. Do it. Don't second guess it. Do not second guess it. Because once you second guess it, you telling yourself you don't know if you're worthy enough. And don't speak it out your mouth. If you think it, you got to cast it out immediately. And do not speak it out your mouth. Because if you speak it out your mouth, you are agreeing with the enemy. So don't second guess yourself. If somebody, ask yourself, what do people always compliment me on? And write it down. Come up with ways to monetize from your gift. You got to start getting knowledge on your mind. You got to start getting knowledge on your gifts. You got to start feeding your mind. You have to. You got to find ways to operate from your gift. You have to. And I coach women on how to become the best versions of themselves. So if you need coaching of any kind, self-love, self-motivation, like self-empowerment, any of those things, I coach women. Go to my website. I'm going to link it in the description. It's hisuniquequeendom.com. And I'll help you if you need help. Because this is the season, y'all. This is the season that we need to go all in with our dreams and our goals. Don't be average. Be great. And I don't want to see nobody settle. I don't. And it was just on my heart to just help somebody. Because this is what I do. I love to help. I love to inspire. I've been like this since I was younger. And didn't know what my passion was. But I knew that I had to help somebody. Somebody that went through the same thing that I went through. But I want to help y'all be the best versions of yourselves. To put you first. No matter what you may be going through. Just know that it's only temporary. Because what God has for you, no man can take it away. No demon in hell, no devil, no nothing can take it away. But it's up to you to activate it. Finish this year strong and know that God got your back. I thank y'all for tuning in with another episode of Uniquely Divine with Tamara Podcast. And I'll check in with y'all next time.